ओम नमः शिवाय।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु
सहना भवतु
सहनौ
सहनौ
भुनक्तु
भुनक्तु
वीर्यं
वीर्यं
करवावहै
करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
विद्विषावहै।
विद्विषावहै।
ॐ
ॐ
शान्ति
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 शान्तिः।
शान्तिः।
Om Tat Sat, Om Namah Shivaya. Good morning.
ओम तत्सत। ओम नमः शिवाय।
So we had finished the ninth section in the last class. We are still on chapter 1. Ninth khanda is over. And now we will be on the 10th khanda. So we will chant the first 8 mantras. 8 mantras of the 10th khanda. And then we'll give a brief explanation. So please unmute yourself and we will chant. मटचीहतेषु कुरुषु
मटची
मटचीहतेषु
मटचीहतेषु
कुरुषु
कुरुषु
जिज्ञासहजाययो
पाटिक्या
आटिक्या
आटिक्या
सहजायः
सहजाय
उषिस्तर्ह उषस्तिर्ह चाक्रायणः
उषस्तिर्ह चाक्रायणः
उषस्तिर्हचाक्रायणः
इभ्यग्रामे प्रदर्णक उवास
इभ्यग्रामे
इभ्यग्रामे
प्रद्राणक
प्रद्राणक
उवास
उवाच
सहेभ्यं कुलमाशान् खादन्तम्
सहेभ्यं
सहेभ्यं
कुल्माषां
कुलमाशान्
खादन्तम्
खादन्तम्
विधिक्षेतगमुवाच
विभिक्षेतगं
विधिक्षेतं
होवाच
उवाच
नेतोऽन्ये विद्यन्ते यच्च
नेतोऽन्ये
नेतोऽन्ये
विद्यन्ते
विद्यन्ते
यच्च
यच्च
ये इमे उपनिहिता इति
येम
येम
इमे उपनिहिताः इति
उपनिहिता इति
एतेषां मे देहेति होवाच
एतेषां मे
एतेषां मे
देहीति
देहति होवाच
होवाच
तानस्मै प्रददौ
तानस्मै प्रददौ
दौ
हन्तानुपानम् इति
अन्तानुपानम्
अन्तानुपानम्
इति
इति
उच्छिष्टं वै मे पितगम्
उच्छिष्टं
उच्छिष्टं
वै
वै
मे
मे
पीतगम्
पितगम्
स्यादिति होवाच
स्यादिति
स्यादिति
होवाच
होवाच
न स्विदेते अपि उच्छिष्टा इति
न
न
स्विदेते
स्विदेते अपि उच्छिष्टा
उच्छिष्टम्
इति
इति
न वा अजीविषयम् इमान् खादन्नीति
न वा
न वा अजीविष्यम् इमं खादन्निति
खादन्ति
होवाच कामो
होवाच
होवाच
कामो
कामो
माम्
माम्
उत्पानमिति उदपानमिति
उदपानम् इति
सह खादित्वा
सः खादित्वा
खादित्वा
अतिशेषान् जायया
अतिशेषान्
अतिशेषान्
जायाया
जायया
आजहार साग्र एव
आजहार
आजहार
साग्र
सागर
एव
एव
सुभिक्षा बभूव
सुभिक्षा
सुभिक्षा बभूव
बभूव
तान् प्रतिगृह्य निददौ
तान्
तान्
गृह्य
प्रतिगृह्य
निदधौ
ददौ
सः प्रातः सञ्जिहान
सः
सः प्रातः सञ्जिहान
सञ्जिहान
उवाच
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 यद्बतान्नस्य लभेमहि
यद्वतान्नस्य लभेमहि
धनमात्रगुं राजसौ यक्ष्यते
धनमात्रगं राजसो
मात्रगं
यक्ष्यसे
राजसो यक्ष्यते
समा सर्वे आर्तिर्वज्ये वृणीतेति
समा
समा
सर्वैरात्रिर्ये
सर्वैरर्त्य
आर्तिर्वज्ये
वृणीतेति
वृणीतेति
इति
तं जायोवाच
तं
तं जायोवाच
जायोवाच
अन्तपते इम एव
अन्तपते इम एव
कुल्माषा इति तान् खादित्वाम्
कुल्माषा इति तान् खादित्वा मुम्
यज्ञं विततमेयाय
यज्ञं विततमेयाय
वितमेयाय
तत्र उद्गातृणास्तावे
तत्र
तत्र
उद्गातृनास्तावे
उद्गान्तृणास्तावे
तोष्यमानानुपोपविवेश
तोष्यमाणानुपोपविशेष विवेश
सः प्रस्तोतारमुवाच
सः प्रोक्तोतारमुवाच
So many words which we have not come across before. Luckily, this Karmakanda. Okay, so we have to take these two sections, the 10th section, 10th Khanda and 11th Khanda together because they are one integrated whole. And here also we have upasanas on the parts of the sama, avayava parts. And this avayava, the parts of the sama mantra, we had given another name earlier. Do you remember? What are the parts of sama mantra called?
Bhakti.
Bhakti, right? So these parts are called bhakti. And I had said at that time that some of the mantras have got 5 parts and some of the mantras have got 7 parts. And so you have the mantra broadly divided into Pancha Bhaktikam Samaha. That is Sama mantra with Pancha Bhaktikam, 5 bhaktis. And Sapta Bhaktikam Samaha, the mantra with 7 divisions, 7 parts, Sapta Bhakti. Now, the details in respect of which are the five bhaktis and which are the 7 bhaktis, we are not looking at right now. Those will come in the next chapter, in chapter 2. But right now, for this discussion of this 2 khandas, we need to know the name of 3 of those parts. 3 bhaktis we need to know. And so I'm giving these names. You should note carefully. The first name is called Prastava Bhakti. Prastava Bhakti. The second bhakti is Udgitha Bhakti. And the third bhakti is Pratihara Bhakti. So Prastava Bhakti, Udgitha Bhakti, Pratihara Bhakti. These are the 3 bhaktis. Prastava, Udgitaha, Pratihara. And these bhaktis are going to be the locus of invocation of the devatas. What is the locus of invocation called?
This time.
Another name?
Alambam.
More. Alambanam.
Alambam.
Right. Alambanam. So the locus is Alambanam. So these 3 bhaktis, Prastava, Udgitha, and Pratihara are going to be the Alambanam. And there are 3 devatas, one going to be invoked on each of these Alambanams. So on the Prastava Bhakti as the Alambanam, the devata is Prana Devata. Aditya Devata is going to be invoked on the Udgitha Alambanam. And Anna Devata, Annam, is going to be invoked on Pratihara Alambanam. Okay. Now, the Upasana actually starts in the 11th section. But there are some values which we have to know, some Vedic values. And these values are being conveyed in this section. This section actually is a story, you know. So if you actually want to know the word meanings, if you really want to know and you don't have a textbook and all that, it's okay because you can just cut and paste into ChatGPT. It'll give you roughly the meanings. So if you want to do that, it's fine. Don't know that, also fine. Because I'll tell you the story anyway. So you'll see that there are 2 words in the mantra. First comes Ushasti. So Ushastir Chakrayana, it says. So Ushasti, the R is a joiner. So Ushasti Chakrayana. That is the name of a rishi. Ushasti Chakrayana. It's not to be taken as name and surname, okay, because many people had many names. And therefore, this is just two names. Ushasti also got Chakrayana. He was married and he used to get food from various places. Okay? And the wife also used to get food from various places. Now you will see that there is a word called Matachi. And it says Kurudeshe. So all these are ideas which you should know. Kurudesha is what? In the place called Kuru. Right. So Matachi is a storm with ice falling. So what is called hailstorm. Matachi is a very big hailstorm. Okay. So in this Kurudesha or man, Ushasti was residing in a village called Ibhyagramam. That's also there. Ibhyagramam. The word Ibhyaha means elephant trainer. You know, the one who actually sits on the elephant. Mahouts, right? Mahouts we call them. So Ibhyagramam is village of elephant mahouts. Village of Ibhyas. Ushasti was not a Ibhya, but he was living there. And this place was in Kurudesha. Ibhyagramam was part of Kurudesha. There was a big Matachi, hailstorm over there. And when the hailstorm came, what happened? All the crops were destroyed. Because the hailstorm, when it comes, it kills all the crops. They were not available for consumption. And therefore, Ushasti was without food and he was in a miserable condition. That is what the word Pradhanaka over there means. Pradhanaka means he was in a miserable condition, hungry and without food. So what did he do? He went out in search of food. And when he was looking for food, he met one of the Abhyas, one of the Mahouts. And that Mahout was eating Kulmasha. So Masha in Sanskrit means beans. Beans. You know, you have so many French beans, so many types of beans you have. Masha is a bean. And Kul is the prefix Kul indicates inferior quality. And therefore, this Ibyaha, this Mahout, was eating Kulmashaha, beans of a inferior quality. So Kulmashan Khadantam, he was eating. And Divikshe Ushasti. Ushasti asked, can you give me some food? Okay. Now the Ibyaha, the Mahot, he said, I have food only which you can see. Only what is in my plate I've got. I don't have another vessel of food. And therefore, this food is Uchishtam. What is Uchishtam? We have heard the word before. Bhagavad Gita.
What is left on the plate after eating?
What is left on the plate after eating? Okay. And Uchishtam is permitted food or prohibited food according to Bhagavad Gita.
Prohibited.
It is prohibited. Okay. So this fellow says that I have only the food which is on my plate and I'm already eating. Therefore, the food is Uchishtam. Whatever food you take will be Uchishtam because it will be left out from what I am eating. And further, I am Ibhyaha. I am a low caste Ibhyaha. You are a rishi, a superior being. How can you eat Uchishtam food? How can you eat from what I have eaten? So, what is the value being conveyed here? These are the values which I was talking about. A value is being conveyed. That there is a Shastric injunction that Uchishtam food is what? Tamasic food. And you should not eat. That is a Shastric injunction. It's a rule. And Ushishti answers. He says these rules are okay, but in the face of any situation where your life is at stake, these rules can be abandoned. So please give me whatever you can. Okay. So that's fine. So Ushasti was given some of the food which was on the plate of the Mahat. And what was that food? Uchishtam kulmasha. Leftover food which were of beans which are of low quality. And while he was eating, the Ibhyam, Mahout, he offered him some water in a glass. And again, that water was, there was only one glass, and the water was that which he had already drunk. So again, the water was also Uchishtam. What did Ushasti say? He said, this water is Uchishtam, so I cannot take it. And then Mahout said, how can you say that? The food is also Uchishtam, which you are happily eating. But the water is also Uchishtam, so there's no problem at all. So, so Ushasti said, no. Nava Ajivishyam. In the case Ajivishyam, I would not have lived. In the case of Kulmasha, Uchishta Kulmasha, had I not taken the food, I will not be alive because I am very hungry. I am starving. Hence, the violation of the rule is permitted. But in the case of water, remember it was only a hailstorm. In the case of water, water is available everywhere. And therefore, fresh water, on Uchishtam water is available. Therefore, I will not drink. So, the idea is conveyed that violation of Shastric stipulations, Vidhi, is allowed, but in exceptional cases. But it cannot be extended beyond the exception, right? Water was available elsewhere, so he had to drink non-Uchishta water, right? For example, to give you, more localized example, there is a Vedic requirement which we all follow without actually knowing it. So all of us have morning bath, right? Daily morning bath. It's a requirement of Shastra, of Karma Kanda. But when you have a fever, do you take a bath? No. So there is an exception over there. Violation of the Shastric rule is being allowed when you have fever. But if you do not have fever, you cannot use that exception to say that Shastra allows me not to have a bath and therefore I won't have one. If you if you don't have a bath without a valid reason, like fever or illness, then it becomes a violation. Okay. Has this particular um, rule, is it clear? What is the rule, how it applies, and how violations are there? It's a story. So, and it's a very nice story. It's just giving you what is the rule, what is Shastric rule, where is it applicable, where is it not applicable. Okay. Okay. And then what happened? Ushasti had a wife, remember? So he ate part of the food which was given to him. The rest of it he packed. And Jayayai Ajahara. He took it home to his wife. But when he reached there, he found that Subhiksha Bhabuva, she had already gone begging and acquired some food. And therefore, what did she do? Tam Pratigriha Midadau. She accepted the kulmasha from Ushasti. She did not eat it because she had already eaten. And she kept it in the house. The story now goes to the next day morning. So next day morning he gets up. And then he tells her, Annasya labhe mahi. So he says, I am going, there is a yajna in the kingdom, and the king is performing a yajna. And if I go there, he may appoint me as the priest because Shasti is a well-known person. And then I can earn some money and get some dakshina and get some more food. So he said, give me the food which is there so that I can go. So then she said that there is only the food which you gave me because the food which I got yesterday, I ate. Okay, now we are not saying here that there is no what they call implication that Ushasti brought food to his wife, but his wife ate up all the food of her own. That is not being conveyed at all. Okay? It's only a story. There is no what they call implication or insult or anything over here. It's a story going on. So she said, I have already eaten what food I had, and the only food I have left is the one which you gave me. Now, if you remember, the one which was given to her has been left overnight because this is the next day morning. Correct? And what is that food called which is left overnight?
That is also tamasika. It is stale food.
What is it called? It's a very, very definite name in Bhagavad Gita. Paryushitam. Remember? Paryushitam dayat. Food which is left overnight is called paryushitam. And therefore, this food was not only kulmashaha, not only uchishtam. This food which is left over was kulmashaha. It was not only uchishtam, it was also paryushitam. Right? So, Ushasti had no choice but to eat the food, and therefore there were two violations. What were they? Eating uchishtam food and eating paryushitam food. Two violations were there. Okay. Now, in the story, the purpose of this highlighting the violation is to show you that Shastric rules in terms of karma kanda should be taken as flexible only in exceptional cases. And here, the cases are exceptional in both the incidents. He was hungry, he was starving. Next morning, there was no food. So he ate. First day, it was uchishtam food. Second day, it was uchishtam plus parushitam, but he ate the food. So Shankara in his commentary says that exceptional cases, rules can be violated. Shankara also adds, Ushasti is a very great upasaka. And for a great upasaka, these violations do not touch him because of the power of the upasana. And therefore, this story not only illustrates the rules, violations of rules, it is also upasana stuti, glorification of upasana. Okay. Any questions so far? It's all very nice, nicely flowing. No what is called headaches, no technical words. Okay. After eating, where was Sushti going? He was going to Yagnishala. So this is the king's Yagnishala. So it was a very big yagna. Okay. Now, no, in a normal yagna, people who have been for yagnas, you will find that there are one priest or maximum two priests. But in a very big yagna, there are multiple number of priests because priests of all the four Vedas have got to be present. In each Veda, priest is there. So Samaveda priest will be there, Rig Veda priest will be there, Yajurveda priest will be there, and so Atharvana Veda priest will be there. So there were priests belonging to all the four Vedas. Now, we are not told how many priests there were. So we have to take it that there were multiple number of priests belonging to the four Vedas in totality. Now, among the Samaveda priests itself, remember that we're talking about Sama Bhaktis also. So there are priests who are specialized in a particular bhakti, right? So there are three bhaktis, and people who chant the mantra of that particular bhakti have got a name. So the priest who sings the Prastava Sama mantra, what is Prastava? One of the bhaktis. So when the priest who chants or sings the Prastava Sama mantra has a name, Prastota. Prastota. The one who sings the Udgita Sama mantra has got a name, Udgatha. Udgataha. And the one who sings the Pratihara mantra, he has got a name, Pratiharta. So these are three priests, all belonging to Samaveda. Prastota, Udgataha, and Pratiharta. So these three priests were sitting in the Yagashala. The yajna was about to begin. Right? Now, at the moment just before the yajna began, Ushasti enters the Yagashala and he addresses the three priests because they are the ones who are sitting there about to chant. And he asks them, do you know the devatas of the particular mantra? So this is being said in the next section. Next two mantras, mantra number 9, 10, and 11. Three mantras, 9, 10, and 11 of the 10th section itself. So we will chant these three mantras, mantra 9, mantra 10, and mantra 11. What is section? 10th card, 10th section, first chapter. Prathama Adhyaya, Dasha Khandaha. Ninth mantra is we will chant. Please unmute yourself. Prastotarya Devata Prastavam
प्रस्तोतर्या देवता प्रस्तावम्
Anvayattatam Chet
अन्वायत्ता चेत्
Avidvan Prastoshyasi Murdhate
अविद्वान् तोष्यसि मूर्धा ते
Vipatishyatiti.
विपतिष्यतीति
In the 10th mantra. Evameva
एवमेव
Udgataram
उद्गातारमुवाच
Udgatarya Devata Udgitham
उद्गातर्या देवता उद्गीतम्
Anvayattatam Chet
अन्वायत्ताताम् चेत्
Avidvan Anudgayasi
अविद्वान् गायस्यसि
Avidvan Udgayasi
अविद्वान् गायसि
Murdhate Vipatishyatiti.
मूर्धा ते विपतिष्यतीति
Evameva Pratihartarum Uvacha
एवमेव प्रतिहर्तारम् उवाच
Pratihartaya Devata Pratiharam
प्रतिहर्त्या देवता प्रतिहारम्
Anvayattatam Chet
अन्वायत्ताताम् चेत्
Avidvan Pratiharishyasi Murdhate
अविद्वान् प्रतिहरिष्यसि मूर्धा ते
Vipatishyatiti.
विपतिष्यतीति
Eha Samarataha
यः समारताः
Tushtim Asan Chakrire.
तूष्णीम् आसाम् चक्रिरे
Here, Ushasti is addressing the priests one by one. Each mantra is addressed to one particular priest. So, Ushasti addresses first the Prastot. Chet Avidvan Udkasyasi. If you sing that Prastavam Bhakti as a Avidvan, without knowing who the Devata is. So here can I request whoever it is who's got his mic on to put it off, please? Thank you. So, yeah. So he says, Chet Avidvan Udgasyasi. If you sing the Prastavam Bhakti as a Avidvan, as an ignorant person. Ignorant how? Without knowing who the particular devata, presiding devata of your mantra is, then murdha te vipatishyati iti. Your head, murdha, will fall off, will explode. Okay. So next mantra is identical. Ushasti addresses the Udgatha and says the same thing. That Chet Avidvan Udgas. If you sing without knowing Devata, your head will explode. And the third mantra, he addresses the Pratiharta, and says the same thing. Anvayarta is the presiding, literally means presiding. So Devata who presides over the mantra. Having said that, the last part of the mantra is that starting from Teha Samarataha, that is telling us what was the reaction of the three priests. Te, the three priests, Samarataha, they stopped their activity. And what did they do? Asan Chakri. Asan Chakri means quietly sat down. Asan Chakri sat down. And Tushnim without saying anything. So Tushnim Asan Chakri. They stopped whatever they were doing and they sat down quietly. So this is the 10th khanda. Okay, now we go to the 11th khanda. We will read the first three mantras. So please unmute yourself. Athahainam yajamana
अथ हैनं यजमान
uvacha bhagvantam va
उवाच
उवाच
भगवन्तं वा
भगवन्तं वा
aham vividishananiti
अहं
अहं
विविदिषामि
विविदिषामीति
इति
aham vividishaniti
अहं
अहं
विविदिषाणीतीति
uvacha
उवाच
the 11th second mantra sahovacha bhagvantam va
स होवाच
सहोवाच
भगवन्तं वा
भगवन्तं वा
ahamebihi
अहमेभिः
अहमेभिः
sarvair artvirjaihi
सर्वैरात्मैः
सर्वैरात्मैर्जैः
paryeshisham bhagvato va
पर्यैषिषं भगवतो वा
भगवतो वा
aham vidya anyan rishi
अहम्
अहं विद्ये
अविद्तान्यन्यान् ऋषि
अन्यान् ऋषि
bhagvagam stveva
भगवागं
भगवागंस्त्वेव
स्तेव
मे सर्वैरार्तिर्विजैरीतीति
मे
मे
सर्वैरार्तविजयैरिति
सर्वैराविजयैरिति
अथेति
तथेति
तथेति
अथ तर्हि एते
अथ
अथ
तर्हि एते
तैर्हेतेति
एव समतिसृष्टाः
एव
एव
समतिसृष्टाः
स्तुवतां यावत्तु
स्तुवतां
स्तुवतां
यावत्तु
यावत्तु
एभ्यो धनं दद्याः
एभ्यो
एभ्यो
धनं
धनं
दद्याः
दद्याः
तावन्मम दद्या इति
तावन्मम दद्या इति
दद्याः इति
तथेति ह यजमान उवाच
तथेति ह
तथेति ह
यजमान
यजमान
उवाच
उवाच
सो अथ हि एनम यजमान उवाच अथ what does the atha mean then when the yajna stopped. When the yajna stopped, what happened? The yajamana. Who was the yajamana for the yajna?
किङ्
The king. The king came to Ushasti and said, Uvacha, Bhagvantam va aham vividishaniti. Hey Bhagavan, oh Lord, I would like to know who you are. Aham vividishaniti. I would like to know who you are. Hey Bhagvantam, oh Lord. So, addressing the priest as God or Lord. So Ushasti said, Ushasti Chakrayana Asmi iti. I am Ushasti Chakrayana. Right? He gave his full name, or the two names, which is well known as. Now, Ushasti was a well-known learned person. Okay, he was well known as a good priest. And the king says, when I started the yajna, I wanted you as the chief priest. And I looked all around, but I could not find you. And then you have to connect it. Why could he not find Ushasti?
He had gone looking for food.
He
Or the
had gone to the
hailstorm.
Ibhya Gramam. He was sitting in Ibhya Gramam and had gone there. And now the king says, okay, fine. Now that you've come back, please become the chief priest and take charge of the yajna. Because he's a well-known priest, and anyway, the king wanted him only to be the chief priest. But now that he has come, he says, okay, fine. Please take charge of the yajna, become the chief priest. So Shasti says, okay, I will take charge. And he says, Yavattu ebhyo dhanam dadya. What is the dakshina that you are going to give the other priests? Tavan mama dadya. I also need you have to give me also the same dakshina. Same dakshina you have to give. So king says, fine, I will do that. Then Ushasti says, I will not change the other priests just because I am the chief priest. They can continue to be. And then he orders the other priests to sing. Like he says, you chant now. Because I am chief priest, I am telling you to chant. But the priests do not sing. Why? You can't have forgotten.
Because he has
They
now
know
come with the Parishita food and also the Kulmasha, etc. So he's not
It
eligible
could,
to be the chief priest.
no, because he
No,
told them
it
about
could be
the
because
deity not knowing
it
the
could be
deity.
because those three priests did not know the names of the devatas
The
of the
deity.
mantras they were
Very good.
chanting.
So the three priests did not know the names of the devatas. And Shasti had told them that if you chant without knowing the names of devatas, your head will bust. Okay. So the priests don't chant. What do? They come to him and ask. They ask questions. So the next two mantras, the first two mantras of this 11th khanda are the priests asking. So we will chant. Please unmute yourself. And actually you can make out as the very simple Sanskrit. Atahainam prastota
अथ
अथ
हैनं
हैनं प्रस्तोता
upasasada
उपससाद
उपससाद
Sada
prastotarya devata prastavam
प्रस्तोतरि
प्रस्तोतर्या
Prastotarya
देवता
Devata
प्रस्तावम्
Prastavam
अन्वयत्ताताम्
अन्वायत्ताताम्
Anvayattatam
चेत् विद्वान् प्रस्तोष्यसि
चेदविद्वान्
Vidvan
स्तोष्यसि
Prastosyasi
मूर्धा ते विपतिष्यतीति
मूर्धाते
मूर्धा ते
Murdhate
विपतिष्यतीति
Vipatishyati
मा भगवान् वोचत्
मा
मा
Ma
भगवान्
Bhagavan
अवोचत्
कथमासा देवतेति
कथमासादे
कथमासा
Katamasa
देवतेति
Devadeti
प्राण इति होवाच
प्राण
प्राण
Prana
इति
iti
होवाच
hovacha
सर्वाणि हवा इमानि भूतानि प्राणम्
सर्वाणि
सर्वाणि हवा
Sarvani
इमानि
hava imani
भूतानि प्राणम्
bhutani pranam
एव अभिसंविशन्ति
एव
eva
अभिसंविशन्ति
abhisamvishanti
प्राणम् अभ्युज्यते
प्राणम्
pranam
अभ्युज्यते
abhyudhyate
सैषा देवता प्रस्तावम्
सैष
Saisha
देवता
devata
प्रस्तावम्
prastavam
अन्वायत्ता प्रस्तावम्
अन्वायत्ता
अन्वायत्ता
anvayata
प्रस्तावम्
अन्वायत्ता चेत् विद्वान् प्रसतोष्यो
अन्वायत्ता
anvayata
ताम् चेदविद्वान् प्रस्तोष्यो
prastoshyo
मूर्धा ते व्यपतिष्यत्
ऊर्ध्वा ते व्यपतिष्यत्
तथोक्तस्य मयेति.
तथोक्त्यमयेति.
So the prastota comes upasasada. Prastota means approaches. Prastota approaches whom Prashasti. And the next line, most of the line is he's just repeating what Prashasti has said. That if you sing the mantra without knowing the devata, your head will burst. So up to that, Ma Bhagwan Avochat. He's saying, you had said like this. And the last three words are Katama Sa Devate Ati. Devate Iti. Katama Sa Devataha Iti. Which is that Devata? Which is the Devata of Prastava Devata, of Prastava Bhakti? Please tell me. And you can see in the fifth mantra it says Prana Iti Hovacha. So Ushasti says Prana is the Devata. And what is the glory of Prana? Imani bhutani pranam eva abhisamvishanti. So this is for those who have done Taittiriya. We can recognize the line. It's talking about Srishti, Sthiti, and Laya Karanam. So here he is saying Imani bhutani, of all these people, abhisamvishanti, the Laya Sthanam is Pranam. Prana is the Laya Sthanam, the resolution ground of the entire creation. Imani bhutani. And not only that, pranam abhyuk. So you have to break that up. Pranam abhyuj ujjihati. Ujjihati means creation. So that pranam is also the creator, the Srishtikarta. So in this one, what they call mantra, he says that prana is the layakarta. Prana is also Srishtikarta. He doesn't talk about Sthitikarta, that we have to supply. So prana is Srishti, Sthiti, Laya Karana. Right? This is the Prastavam Anvayatta. It is the Prana Devata who is the presiding deity Anvayatta for Prastavam, for the Prastava Bhakti. Right? Now, you might say, who is this Prana? So, that is pretty obvious actually. If you look at this mantra, what is Prana then?
Hiranyagarbha.
Sorry?
Hiranyagarbha.
No, I have not understood. I have not heard it.
Acharyaji, Hiranyagarbha.
Yeah, Saguna Ishvara. Okay, basically. So prana is Saguna Ishvara, who is the Srishti, Sthiti, Laya Here it is not said so, but when we do the Brahma Sutras, there is an Adhikaranam where Shankaracharya establishes in great detail that because of this mantra relating to Taittiriya Upanishad, prana has to be Saguna Ishvara. And he quotes Imani Bhutani Pranam Eva Abhisamvishanti. Since it is Jagat Srishti as Sthiti Karanam and Laya Karanam, it has to be Ishvara alone. So Shasti appreciates the student for having the honesty to ask, because had he sung without knowing the meaning, his head would have burst. Okay, so that much is the content of those two mantras. Then we will look at mantra 6 and 7. We will chat. Atasainam udgata upasasada.
अथ हैनम् उद्गात उपससाद
Udgatarya devato.
उद्गातर्या देवतो
देवतो
Udgitam anvayattam tam.
उद्गीतम् अन्वायत्ता ताम्
ताम्
Chet vidvan udgasyasi.
चेदविद्वान् उद्गास्यसि
कायसि
Urdhate vipatashyatiti.
ऊर्ध्वा ते विपतिष्यतीति
Ma bhagavan avochat.
महाभगवानवोचत्
भगवानवोचत्
Katamasa devateti.
कथमासा
देवतेति
देवतेति
So was approached. Udgataha is approached. Udgataha. upasasada. And he repeats the same thing. So only the last three words are the same actually. Katamasa devate. So first of all, he says that you told me that if I sing without knowing, my head will burst. So please tell me who is the devata of that particular uh, sama mantra. And then the next mantra is that, which is the answer. So we will chant. Aditya iti
Aditya
Aditya
iti
hovacha sarvani hava imani bhutani
होवाच
hovacha sarvani hava imani bhutani
adityamuchaihi
adityamuchaihi
santam gayanti
santam gayanti
saisha devataha
saisha devataha
udgitam anvayattatam
udgītam anvayatātām
ched advidvan utgayasyo
ched avidvan udgasyo
urdha deve vitishyat
मूर्धाते व्यपितिष्यत्
तथोक्तस्य मयेति.
तथोक्तस्य मयेति
Same thing. Udgata approaches Ushasti and repeats Ushasti's statement about the head bursting and says Katama sa devata iti. Please tell me who is the devata of Udgata. So mantra 7 is the reply. Aditya iti hovacha. Iti hovacha is the reply from Ushasti. He says Aditya is the devata of Udgita. And what is the glory of Aditya? Sarvani va imani bhutani. All the people, all the beings, Adityam Uchaihi Santam Gayati. They sing the praise of Devata. Who is Uchaihi? Who is above? Okay, above is to be taken as specially above, also in terms of quality. You can say that. So, in terms of superiority, also, he is above. And Ushasti is happy because had he sung without knowing the meaning, after being warned, he says, your head would have blown off. So then he has given the answer to two of the people, and the third one now approaches. This is the 8th and 9th mantra which we will chant. Atahainam
अहैनं
Pratiharta Upasasada
प्रतिहर्ता उपससाद
Pratihartaya Deva Devata
प्रतिहर्त्र्या देवता
Pratiharam Anvayattatam
प्रतिहारम् अन्वायत्ताताम्
Ched Avidwan Pratiharishyasi
चेदविद्वान् प्रतिहरिष्यसि
Urdhate Vipadashyatiti
मूर्धा ते विपतिष्यतीति
Ma Bhagavan Avochat
महाभगवानवोचत्
Katama Sadevateti
कथमासा देवतेति
Annamiti Hovacha
अन्नमिति होवाच
Sarvani Hava Imani Bhutani Annameva
सर्वाणि हवा इमानि भूतानि अन्नमेव
Pratiharamani
प्रतिहरमाणानि
Jivanti Saisha Devata
जीवन्ति सैषा देवता
Pratiharam Anvayattatam
प्रतिहारम् अन्वायत्ताताम्
Chet Avidvan Pratyaharishyo Murdha
चेत् अविद्वान् प्रत्यहरिष्यो मूर्धा
ते व्यपितस्ततोक्तस्य मयेति तथोक्तस्य मयेति
ते व्यपतिष्यत्तथोक्तस्य मयेति
So Tathoktasya Mayati is there twice. The second Mayati indicates that it is the end of the section also. So Pratiharta, he approaches Ushasti, and as before, first he just repeats the statement of Ushasti about the head bursting if he sings without knowing Devata, and then says Katama Sa devata iti. Which is the devata? Please tell me. Rushasti answers, Annam iti hovach. So this is Anna Devata, okay, not Annam in food grains form. So Anna Devata is the Pratihara, is the Devata Pratihara Bhakti. And what is the glory? Sarvani hava imani bhutani annam eva pratiharam manani jivanti. So here you can, those who know a bit of Yoga Shastram, you can recognize the word Pratihara, Pratyahara. What does Pratyahara mean?
Withdrawing the sense organs.
Withdraw.
Let's try to do some such analysis. What would be the breakup of Pratyahara? Pratyahara.
Prati ahara.
Pratyahara.
Prati ahara.
What does that mean?
Each
Food for everybody.
towards
Every day.
towards ahara.
Daily food.
Favorable food.
Ahara is to bring. Okay. Prati is what is in front. Who is in front of the ahara in your hand? Your mouth. So Pratihara. You are bringing it. And that is why in Yoga Shastra it is used as withdrawing, because you are bringing the sense organs inside. So in that Ashtanga Yoga, Pratyahara means withdrawal. The real word is Pratyahara. You are bringing the food towards you. And therefore, Sarvani va imani bhutani annameva Pratyahara. All living beings, annameva Pratyaharani jivanti. All living beings jivanti, they have life only because of Pratyaharam anani, because of the eating of annam. That is the glory. And then he says, he appreciates that person and says, Tam chet avidwan pratyaharisyo murdate vipatashyat. Had you sung without knowing the name of the deity, your head would also have burst. Tatoktasya mayeti. Tatoktasya mayeti. The section is over. So these 10th and 11th sections, they have to be read together. And the essence of the section is what? What is the takeaway? That these three Sama Bhaktis are presided over by these three Devatas. And Upasana of these three Devatas, when you are doing, you have to be invoking them on these three Bhaktis alone. That is what is being conveyed here. Shruti does not give the Upasana Phalam. Shankaracharya writes that because he is invoking Prana Devata, etc., Prana Devata, Anna Devata, etc., what is the general rule in Upasana? Yatha yatha Upasana, tatha tatha phala. So he becomes or he merges with that Devata after Marana. So the rule is that Shankara says, whichever of these Devatas you have been doing Upasana on, after the death of the body, you will merge into that respective Devata. That is the post-Maranam Phalam. And in this life, what will become? What will be the Phalam? He will get the Phalam of any Yaga that he does, any Yajna that he does. The Phalam which he would normally have received will become more powerful because with that karma of the Yajna, he is also doing the Upasana. And therefore, this particular section highlights the general rule that when you do karma, there is X amount of punya generated. But if you do upasana with the karma, then that punya generated is enhanced. And that is why when you do parayanam, let us say you do Vishnu Sahasrama parayanam. The parayanam is the karma. What is the upasana there?
The
Meditating upon the Dhyana Shloka?
yeah, Lord Vishnu.
The Dhyana Sloka is the upasana. Dhyana Sloka is not for chanting, okay. Dhyana Sloka you chant, but it is for meditation. And therefore you are going to do dhyanam. That's why it's called a dhyana sloka. You have to do upasana. Dhyanam you have to do on the description of the deity in the dhyana sloka. That is the upasana part. Then you do the Parayanam, the chanting. The Parayanam will become more powerful. So Dhyana Sloka is Upasana. Parayanam is Karma. And if you do both, then the benefit of the Upasana is going to be much, much more. With that, the 11th section is over. In the next section, you are going to get Upasana. It is going to be taught by a dog. Okay, so we will leave that for next time. Any questions?
Acharyaji, what is the relevance of this guy eating Parishita food and Uchishta food, etc.? So that doesn't become relevant anymore in the discussions.
In the discussion, no, but that was to indicate a rule showing that the Vedic rules have a exception. That is one thing. And Shankaracharya adds a commentary saying that it also shows that if you are a Upasaka, a great Upasaka, then violation of Vedic rules, they won't affect you at all because of the strength of the Upasaka.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam
Punamidam
Purnam
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Madaya
Purnameva
Purnamevaya
Vasishyate Om Shanti
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 Shanti Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your
Om
patience.
Tat Sat,
Thank
Om
you,
Namah
Acharya.
Shivaya. Thank you so much, Acharya ji.